Go.
Okay, so it's the 6 core principles of what is now IDEA now? It's not IDA, right? Okay. So the first one is zero reject, and that pretty much just means that no student can be excluded from receiving a public education because they have a disability. It means pretty much that no school district representatives can tell you, like, tell the parents they can't take your child because their disability is something that they can't handle. It's their job as a district to find your student the proper education, no matter what the disability is, or if they have too many disabilities, it doesn't matter that they cannot tell the families, no, we can't take your child. And the second one was non-discriminatory evaluation. And that means that students must be evaluated using instruments that are not discriminatory based on race, culture, or disability. And I know the book gave the example of, like, if you assess a child and it has like math and it's talking about football. Well, here in America, we would assess it like 7 points for, like, 6 points for a touchdown, and another point is for the, like, the field goal. But like in another country, football is soccer, so they would think if you scored a point, it's only 1 point because the ball went to the goal, so it's only 1 point. So you're not really helping them out. So the everything has to be not discriminatory based on their race, culture, or disability. Like, it has to be like fair. In other words, I know one of the when we had to do that, like, pick the litigations, one of the one I picked was the one for African American students. They actually did a law where the test that was they were given was discriminatory towards minorities, especially African Americans, and that's why the state of California had way too many African Americans in SPED classes, and it was because the test was biased towards them because there was no way they were going to know those things based on their culture and their backgrounds.
The Larry P. versus Wilson Riles.
Yeah, that one. I think it was that one. But yeah, those are those two.
Okay, the third one is appropriate education, and or what I think of as each student who has a learning disability or is classified under IDEIA is given access to an individualized education plan, and which is a written document that is put together by an IEP team, and it draws upon the existing information of the child and gives a plan on how to educate that student to enable them to have the best education possible, and to meet all their unique educational needs. The next one under the IEP, the 6 principles of IDEIA, is the least restrictive environment, which means that every child under IDEIA has the right to a general education classroom, and that whether they need special modifications, they need special tools, supplemental aids, that the school has the school has is mandatory for the school to supply those, whether it's wheelchair access, whether it's hearing aids, or hearing technology, classroom modifications, supplemental aids and services, anything that the child needs to make their education as successful as possible. And those are the two I had.
All right. And the fifth part of the IDEIA would be procedural due process, which is where if a disagreement occurs regarding the student's educational placement or services, a specific set of procedures must be followed to resolve that dispute, and no changes can be made unless the issue is resolved at a formal hearing. And if it's needed, then they could go to an appropriate court for that. And that's it for procedural due process.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm about to mess this up. I'm so sorry. So Marshall, you did the appropriate education or the individualized education?
The appropriate education, that just means that they have the right to an IEP.
Okay, I just got confused. Okay, so the sixth one is the individualized education, and that is all of the instructional services and all the other resources that come from the prepared IEP program. And then that has to be updated annually and reviewed by all the teachers and staff that put the IE program together.
Okay, that's good. I think that's actually everything he wanted. Did anybody want to add anything that either any of us missed?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah, and the fact that you brought in case, that cases that we just read about, that was really good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
So